Hello friends, myself Amar. Now in this video I will discuss another PrimeFaces control which is called as date picker. For that what I have done, here I have created a project named as date picker, and in this project I have a index.xhtml page, and here I have created a managed bean named as date picker bean inside the Ripple's code package. Okay. Now in the index.xhtml page, here I have taken the required PrimeFaces and JSF tags. In the head, in the title, I have given the text as date picker. In the body, I have used a script tag. Now this script tag I will discuss later on as I will proceed in this video. Now in the form tag, I have given the ID as form. Inside this form tag, I have taken a growl having the ID as MSGS, show detail is true, skip detail if equal summary as true. These things I have already discussed in my previous videos. Now I have taken a panel grid having the number of column as 2 and cell padding as 5. Okay. Now in the output label, here I have used for inline, and in the value I have used inline. Now this for, inside this for attribute I have used this inline, which is nothing but the ID of this date picker. Okay. Now to use the date picker, we need to use the p:\date picker tag. Now in this date picker I have given the ID as inline. In the value I have written dpb.selectedDate, and in the inline attribute I have made it as true. Now you can guess this dpb is nothing but the name of the managed bean, and the selected date is nothing but the property which has been defined inside the managed bean. Okay. Now inside this date picker I have a ajax. In the event we are using date select. This means this event will be generated whenever we will select the event. Okay. In the listener I have written dpb.onDateSelect. This is nothing but the method which is present inside the dpb, that is the managed bean. And in the update I am using MSGS. This means it will actually update the growl. Okay. Now if I run this, let me show you the output. After running this, you will get the output like this. Now for the first case, for the first date picker, here you can see I have used inline. The output you will get like this. This is the date picker, right? Now whenever I will select a date from here, then you can see the corresponding date selected is displayed in the growl. How this is coming? This is coming because here in the value I have written dpb.selectedDate. This means the value which we will select, that will be stored inside this property. Okay. And in the listener dpb.onDateSelect, this method I have used. This method is actually displaying the growl. Let me show you. In the date picker bean, as you can see, there is a property selected date of type date. This selected date has its corresponding getter and setter. As you can see, if I move below, then you can see the corresponding getter and selected methods are here. Okay. And if you remember, in the listener I have used dpb.onDateSelect. This onDateSelect is nothing but the method. As you can see here below, here I have created the method onDateSelect. Now this is taking select event of type date, and the object name I have given as event. Now here I have uses the faces context, and after that I have created the object of simple date format having the pattern as ddmmyy. Now in the faces context I am using the add message method, and by using the faces message class I am displaying the message date selected, and here I am using format.format. This format is nothing but the object of the simple date format class. After that I am using the format method of the simple date format class, and I am formatting event.getObject. This event is nothing but the object of this select event which is of type date. Okay, here I am using event.getObject. This will actually retrieve the date which we are selecting. After that, this format is formatting the selected date into this pattern. Okay, and that's why whenever I am selecting the date, then you can see ddmmyy. In this pattern the date is displayed in the growl. Okay, this is all about your date picker for inline case. Now for the second case, if you can see, again here I have used a date picker, but this time here I am using the ID as pop-up, and in the value I am writing dpp.selectedDate. Now here I am not using the inline attribute. As a result, this date picker will come as a pop-up. Okay, and for this date picker also I am using or I am calling the same listener method, that is onDateSelect. Okay, but the only difference is that here if I click this, then only this date picker will be generated. This is called as the pop-up date picker. Okay, this is the second case. For the third one, if you can see, I have taken the date picker, but this time the selection mode is multiple. This means we can select multiple date. Okay, and in the value attribute I have written dpp.selectedMultiDate. Again, this is the property, and here I have used read only input equals to true. Whenever this attribute is true, then you will not be able to write anything in this text box. See, if it is not possible to write. Okay, now in the Ajax event, in the listener, I have called the method onDateSelectMulti, and in the update I am updating the growl. Okay, now let me show you what is there in this select multi date and onDateSelectMulti in the managed bean. You can see here I have created a property select multi date, which is of type date, list of date actually. Now it has its corresponding getter and setter. As you can see here, it has its corresponding getter and setter. Okay, and you can see here I am calling which method in the listener? I am calling onDateSelectMulti. Now let me move to that method, onDateSelectMulti. This is the method. Here again I have written the same code, but since we are selecting multiple date, so whenever the date selected, that will contain multiple values, and to retrieve the multiple values, here I have used a for loop. Here I have written event.getObject, because all the dates selected will be stored here, and all the dates I am retrieving by using event.getObject, and one by one the date is assigned here, and after that I am printing this date. As you can see, I am printing this date by formatting it. In which pattern? In the pattern DDMMYYY. Okay, let me show you the output. If I go to multi, then suppose I am selecting 4, 9. You can see you can select multiple dates, and the date selected is printed in the growl. Okay, this is multiple date selection, right? Now let me come to another case, that is a range. Now here the selection mode I have given as range, and rest all the things are similar. You can see in the value again I am using dpp.selectedMultiDate, and in the listener I am calling onDateSelectMulti. The only difference is that in the selection mode, instead of writing multiple, here I have written range. Okay, now if I move to range selection, then you can see I am selecting this 4/26. This means I have selected the date from 4 to 26, and the date which has been selected, that is printed in the growl. Okay, that is the difference between multiple selection and range selection. Here we are selecting a range, but in case of multiple, we are selecting multiple dates, right? Now the next case is, now we are using a month picker. Now here again we have used date picker. Okay, now in the view attribute we have written month. This means we will be able to see month. In the value again I am using the selected date property, which I have already discussed. In the pattern I have written mm/YYYY. This means this will be the pattern of the month. In the year navigator attribute I have written true, and in the year range I have written 2020 to 2050. Now what is the meaning of this and this, that I will discuss when I will show you the output. Okay, and in the Ajax event again I am using, or I am calling which method? onDateSelect. This method I have already discussed. Now if I go to the browser, if I go to month picker, then you can see here all the months are displayed, and here the years are displayed from 2020 to 2050, because here in the year range I have specified 2020 to 2050. That's why these dates are displayed. Sorry, these years are displayed actually. Okay, but if I remove this year range, suppose I am removing this year range, now if I refresh the page, Now if I go to month picker, now if you select the date, then by default it will display up to 2030. This means it will display up to 10 years, right? Now let me undo this. Now here one more thing, what is the meaning of this year navigator? In the year navigator, I have made it as true. If it is true, then this year will be displayed in the drop down. But if I make it as false, then this will display as a normal text. Let me show you. If I refresh this, now if I go to month picker, then see, now the drop down is not visible. It is displayed as a text. Okay, now suppose I am selecting Jan. Now once I select Jan, then you can see here 012020. This means the month and the year is displayed. If I am choosing here, suppose December, then 122020. This means the month and the year is displayed. Why? Because in the pattern here I have specified mm/year. Okay, this is all about your month picker. Now the next case, here again I have taken a date picker. In the ID I have used date template. In the value I am using dpb.selectedDate. This already I have discussed. In the listener, again I am using dpb.onDateSelect. This method already I have discussed. Now here it has a new attribute which is called as the date template. Now in the date template, which function I am calling? I am calling date template func. Now this is the function which I have defined in this script tag. As you can see, date template func. Okay, and it is taking the date as a parameter. Now what this function is doing? This function is doing is that the date which is less than 21 and the date which is greater than 10, that will be displayed in this color. Okay, and rest all date will be displayed as per the normal CSS, which has been the default CSS for PrimeFaces. If I execute this, then you can see the date from 11 to 20 means the date which is greater than 10 and the date which is less than 21. All the date has been displayed in green color, and rest all the dates are displayed by using the inherited CSS of PrimeFaces. Okay, this is the functionality of date template, and this is the entire code. Okay, so this is your date template, right? Now if I go to date template, then you can see if I select a date from here, again the same function is called and you are getting the message in the growl, right? Now the next case is disabled. As you can see here, again I have taken a date picker. In the value, again I am using selected date, the property which I have already discussed. On date select method, the method which I have already discussed. Now it has another attribute. This is called as the disabled days. In the disabled days, I am calling dpb.invalidDays, and it has one more attribute which is called as disabled dates. Here we have disabled days and here we have disabled dates. For disabled days, I am calling dpb.invalidDays, and for disabled dates I am calling dpb.invalidDates. Now let me show you what this invalid days and invalid dates are in the managed bean. If I move upward, then you can see here I have a list of date, that is invalid dates. This means the invalid dates property is of type list of date and invalid days is of type list of integer. Okay, now here as you can see here in the init method, I have created the object of invalid dates. After that I have taken the current date and the current date is added to the invalid date. Okay, after that here I have written long one day. This means I am converting the date to millisecond actually. Okay, and after that here I have used the loop which will go from 0 to 3 and all the dates will be added to invalid dates. Okay, and here I have created the object of invalid days, and in the invalid days I have added 0 and 3. 0 means the first day of the week and 3 means the fourth day of the week, because we are counting from 0. Now if I go to the output, then you will be able to relate the output with this code. If I go to the output, if I go to the disabled date, if I click here, then you can see the first week of the day, that is 2, 9, 16, 23 and 3rd. This first day and the third day, that is 5, 12, 19 and 26, these are disabled. Why? Because here I have written 0 and 3 means the first day and the fourth day of the week is disabled. That's why you are getting the output like this. Okay, and the days, that is 13, 14, 15, why these are disabled? Because for that here I have written the code 0 integer I 0 I less than 3 I plus plus, and after that I am adding the dates to invalid dates by using the add method. Now here you can see I have written invalid dates dot add today. Today is what date? Today is 13th. So the today's date will be disabled. You can see today's date is 13, that is disabled. And after the today's date, few more dates will be disabled. For that the code is written here. Which dates will be disabled? Today's date. After that 2 more dates, because in the loop I am starting from 0 and it is going to 3, means 0, 1, 2. This means 13, 14, 15. These 3 dates, these 2 dates will be disabled. Okay, the current date, because I have written here invalid dot add today, means today's date will be disabled. And after that in this loop I am writing I equals to 0 I less than 3. This means 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0 means the current date and 1 and 2. For 1 and 2 the dates 14 and 15 will be disabled. Okay, that's why we are getting the output like this. If I make this 5 and if I refresh this, then you can see in the disabled date, see the current date, and after that 1, 2. Let me refresh this once again. I think it is not saved. Save. Now if I refresh the page, okay, now if I go to the disabled date, then you can see 13, and after that since I have used the loop from 0 to 5, then these dates are disabled up to 18. Okay, this is how the disabled dates are working, right? Now again I go to index.html. This disabled date is done. Now again I am using a date picker. In the value again I am using selected date, and in the listener I am using on date select. These things I will not discuss because I have already discussed. The only difference is that in this date picker I have used the show icon attribute as true, and that's why here you can see this icon is visible, and if I click on this icon then this date picker will come. If I select a date, then that will be displayed in the growl. Okay, now next for this date picker, again in the value I am using selected date, in the listener I am using on date select. The only difference is that here I have used another attribute which is called as the show button bar. I have made its value as true. Now if you see the output here, if I click here, then you can see in the date picker 2 button bars are there. If I click on today, then it will display the today's date. If I clear this, then the date will be cleared. Okay, that is the button bar. Okay, now next we have date picker, this one. Here again I am taking a date picker. In the value again I am using selected date, nothing to discuss here. The 2 new attributes which I am using here is min date and max date. In min date I am using the min date property of managed bean, and in the case of max date I am using the max date property of the managed bean. If I go to the managed bean and if I go here, then you can see min date and max date. Okay, these are 2 properties of type date. As you can see here I have used min date and max date. So min date and max date are 2 properties of the type date, and here in the init method, if you can see in the min date I have written new date today dot get time this, and in the max date I have written new date today dot get time plus 365 into 1 day. Now what will happen? If I go to the output, if I click here, now today is 13th. Okay, now I am moving forward. I can select the date. If I move to 2021 and if I move to the month August, then you can see after 13 all the dates are disabled. As you can see, all the dates are disabled because in the max date I have written this code. You can select the date after 1 year, up to 1 year. Okay, and in case of min date, if I move to 2019 August, then you can see you can select the date up to 14th. Before 14th you will not be able to select the date because here I have written this code. Okay, that is the functionality of min date and max date. Okay, now next we have another date picker. Here in the value again I am using selected date and on selected date. The only difference is that here I have used number of months. Okay, and in the number of months I have specified 3. Now what will happen due to this? If I click here, then you can see 3 months are displayed. Okay, that is the use of this multiple months. Okay, now next one is time. As you can see, again I have used the date picker, but this time the only difference is that here in the value I have written dpb.selectedDate, and in the listener I am calling dpb.onDateSelect with time. This means here we are selecting the date with time. That's why in the listener I am calling this method, and in the date picker I have used so time equals to true. So if I go to time, then you can see along with the date the time is also displayed, and if I select here, then you can see date and time both are displayed. Now how this is displayed? For that we need to check this on date select with time method. If I go here, if I go to on date select with time, again the dates which we are selecting with time will be stored in this particular variable, and to get the time here I am using the format as ddmmyy and hour minute second. Okay, and after that I am formatting it by using the format method of simple date format class. Okay, just to display the time here we need to use this format, right? This is how we can display the date with time, right? Now again let me move to index.xhtml. Now another one is again we are using the time with min max. Here by using the show time I am displaying true. Now here there is attribute min date. In the min date I am writing dpb.minDateTime, and in the max date I am writing dpb.maxDateTime, right? Now let me move to here date managed bean, and here you can see min date time and max date time are the two properties of type date. If I go to the init method, then you can see here in the min date time I have written new date today.getTime minus 7 into 1 day, max date time equals to new date today.getTime plus 7 into 1 day. If I go to the browser, if I click here, then you can see the date today's date is 13th. Okay, so from today's date we can select the date up to 20th, and today's date is 13th, and before 13th we can select the date up to 6. This means there is an interval of 7 days. Why? Because the interval here I have specified as 7. Okay, now before and after that we cannot select the date. Okay, that is time min max. Okay, now if I move to index.html, there is one more date picker. Here again the value is select date. Here I have specified time only equals to true, and in the pattern I have written hour minute. This means now it will display only time, date will not be displayed, and the time which we are selecting, to print that I am calling the on time select method. If I go to the date picker bin, if I go to on time select, then you can see here again I am using the simple date format, but here I am using hours minute, and after that I am formatting it and printing it. Okay, if I go to the output, if I click here, then you can see you will be able to select only time, date will not be displayed because here I have specified time only equals to true. This is all about date picker in PrimeFaces. and this is the entire code for index.xhtml. You can see here, let me press enter. This is the code for index.xhtml. Let me move downwards such that you can visit the code once more. Just have a look. This is the entire code for index.xhtml. Okay, and let me show you the code for date picker bin as well. This is the code for the date picker bin. I hope you have liked my video. If you have liked my video, please subscribe to my channel, share my videos, comment to my videos. Thank you so much. And you just have a look to these codes. I will meet with you guys with a new video of PrimeFace. Thank you so much.